How are you recovering, Alok? Big 2 days?
Not yet. I want to sleep. I'm so tired. I lost my voice. Uh,
Oh,
I
it
don't
was
talk
good
too much.
sleep. Recovering a
I don't
lot.
talk much, but yeah, last 2 days is non-stop talking. 2.5 days. So yeah, it was a good
Fantastic.
day. Good event. You
I'm
missed
sorry
it.
to have missed
Sorry.
it.
You missed it. Sorry. That's all I can say. Um,
No,
it was good.
totally. I couldn't move
Yeah.
surgery timelines and you couldn't move
Yeah,
a
of
high
course.
level event, so we'll just do it next time.
Yeah, 100%. Aim for Dallas.
Yeah.
Or maybe. I think Sydney's a
Yeah,
little easier to manage.
I think Dallas is good as well. Push it, push it. That's what I'm gonna push everyone now. From now onwards, I'm gonna push everyone. Think bigger. That's what I've got from this. Start thinking bigger. Yeah, I get it. Like physical, challenges or something like, or maybe a family event or something could stop you from doing things. But we are all thinking so small. That is what I've got from this event. All, pretty much everyone.
Yeah. It's it's usually not the fear of failure, but the fear of success when you come down to
For
it.
me, big one. Yeah, for me, that's big. Like that's like literally very big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone sits there and they're like, I'm worried I'm going to fail. It's like, no, 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 you're actually worried that you're going to succeed beyond your
yeah,
mental capability to fathom.
100%,
It's
100%.
it's pretty easy for me to succeed past my mental capabilities.
Oh, that's good, Pat. I'm glad you've mastered that. You should do a coaching course for everyone on how to make sure
I'm
they're
just saying
achieving their mental
my mental
capabilities.
capabilities are pretty small. It's easy to succeed past my mental capabilities.
I
Mate,
got you,
if
bud.
your mental capabilities are small, I don't know who we are.
Yep.
Cool. All right, what else is happening? How's everyone else? We got Anna and Dan in the house as well.
Yep. What is everybody doing? Everybody's quiet.
Oops.
I'm getting ready to start selling before I even have the product.
Hey,
I
that's
think
you
that
know
was the
what?
advice. That
That's
was
the
the
best
advice
You
thing to
can
last
do.
week, I
build the
think.
plane while you're flying it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm just kind of getting wrapped up in my mind about, what to charge. And I know I've heard different numbers running around, for
Hmm.
AI voice, um, receptionist, basically. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if I'm talking to a roofer whose average ticket is, 10 grand or 15 grand,
Hmm.
and I come to him and I say, yeah, it's 297 a month. I mean, I think they would more than they'd be happy to pay that, but I think I could also sell them on, a one-time charge of 5,000 or 497 a month plus $1,500 setup. What are your thoughts? I mean, I'd love to get feedback from you guys on that are actually doing it. I'm just
That's too
preparing my list right
complicated
now.
for a roofer.
Yeah, make sure they don't have the nail gun in their hand when you throw that price out. It
Yeah,
might
that's
hang
that's
you on the wall.
that's not just too much. That's way, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that's way too many levels of complication. I don't know if you've dealt with roofers.
I had a
I've dealt
roofing client, but not for this product, not for this. I sold them, the SaaS part, which is way
and
too
for how
complicated for them.
much?
It was 497 a month for the whole SaaS. I did more work for him. It turned out to be a
There you go.
nightmare because it was
Because it was a
he
roofer. Let me
it was
explain. Because it was a roofer. That's
yeah.
why.
Well, you know what? I'll I'm not disagreeing with that, but I want to clarify a little bit. You have roofers that are business people, and then you have Chuck in a truck that puts roofs up.
Yeah.
And there's a big swing in their level of sophistication. You're not terribly far off with the 297 a month. But if
Yeah.
you can peel 5 grand away from them for a setup, then I'll sign up for your course because it ain't gonna
Yeah.
happen.
The thing is that you cannot give, and whether it's a roofer who's a supposed businessman or not, I have not met a roofer that's a businessman. I have met a lot of roofers that are very successful and good at business, but most of them really it's because people need roofs. A roof is a necessary thing, unlike a kitchen remodel or Botox on your face, unless you're like one of those Hollywood people. You know what I mean? Like a person's going to shop around for the best Botox, but a roofer is like need now. So there's an advantage to doing that market, but giving them this plus a setup, plus that, plus this, plus that. I have never found that. Just give them a price. Your price is basically $16,000. So do you want to do that monthly or weekly? Like that's like
Yeah,
what you got to do with
that makes
roofers.
sense.
You gotta give a number. Like here's my price, because that's what roofers do. I think where a lot of people get mistaken is like a Botoxinator. They're always like, the Botox costs $10, and then this costs $7, and this costs $13, and they one and two you to death. So when you give a Botox person, they call themselves estheticians, but what degree? I don't think so. So whatever you are, you're sticking stuff in people's face. They expect, and then if there's pain, there's this cost. And then if you want a massage after, there's this, you know what I mean? Like they expect that, not roofers.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think it just comes down to me being able to convince them that I can at least get them one
No,
conversion a month,
no,
or
you don't need to convince them of
at
anything.
at the bare minimum.
That's a
Well, I mean,
beginner.
if they
No,
don't
that's a
recognize
beginner
they
thought.
have a pain, if they don't recognize they have the pain
No.
to begin with, I think it's going to be an uphill battle.
Okay, so think about what you just said. What you just said was correct. If they don't recognize the pain, how is recognizing the pain meaning you are going to prove that you can get a sale? Those do not equal each other. That's like saying 1 equals 7. Those are two entirely different things.
Well, they may be.
There's another
With
part
roofers,
too.
the only thing you got to do to prove yourself is to say, look, do you want this? I've already done this before. We know we do this. You want it or you don't want it.
The other
You want to be
thing,
a success, you want to be a failure. No problem.
the other thing with roofers, right? A lot like depending on your geography, is there can be seasonal. They can
Yep.
basically go a couple
Yeah.
months without putting a roof on. All right.
Right.
And the like when you're talking about AI, if you're gonna go voice AI for roofers, okay, throw the problem out like, hey, my problem or is your problem, you can't answer the phone. If they say yes, talk to them. If they say no, don't try to convince them. Oh, my AI is going to turn your missed calls
Right.
into leads because the roofer that you need is the guy that has found a way to generate himself leads. Otherwise, he's going
Right.
to ask you after you do your whole AI pitch, well, how many leads am I going to get? Because that's all they think about. And you got a couple people on the call that deals with roofers. They're not bad customers if you find the right ones.
You're right.
Right.
You're right about like there's like literally like two tiers. There are like the chuck in the truck and the guys that, because like in our local networking group, we got the B2B team. There's a roofer that is, he does residential, he does commercial. The guy does multi-millions a year. He doesn't do any door knocking. He doesn't do any of the crap that you see that, the people come into your neighborhood. And then there's people in the regular networking group who do roofing, and they're always hustling something. So, and out here in Kansas, now it's roofing season because we're hitting storms and hail and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, like, yeah, like oh, you're talking about a lock being a lock. Don't feel sorry for a lock. Oh, he's
I
fine.
do.
He's fine.
Poor
He'll
little Locky
be fine.
cakes.
Poor a lock. Oh,
Just shut your eyes
I
for a
could,
few minutes, man. Like put your head back. We'll
dude,
wake you up if we need
Yeah.
you.
I could literally go to bed again right now.
So on roofers, what area are you in? Or
I'm in
what area are you trying to sell to?
San Diego and residential roofers.
Yeah, so it's y'all season there. And I would say roofing there, you have a very similar environment to Houston, except you're like not as hot, not as many storms, almost the same number of illegal aliens, whatever. But the bottom line is there's a third tier in the roofing space, at least here, and I know it's in San Diego and LA, which is the illegal alien market. And what I mean is there's so many competitors that even a truck in the truck has, because an illegal alien company will come do it for cheaper. right? So that's, I don't know how you bring that up to them. I just normally say, so do you have issues with illegals? And then they'll tell me, oh, well, pretty much everyone on my crew is illegal. And I'm like, don't tell me that. I already know that. But what I mean is, like, if you don't answer the call, they're going to have their friend who's a plumber or whatever say, oh man, you need a new roof. Let me call my friend. And that friend will come and will be like a $5,000 bid, or, I don't know what y'all's prices are there, but a lot of times here it's like 10,000, 15,000, 20, 25,000. It depends on blah, blah, blah.
Average
Lots,
Yeah.
average ticket out here in Kansas is 18 grand.
yeah, and it also, it has to do with the houses. San Diego is just as bad as Houston, because you have these houses that are like super weird shape. So it should really only cost 18, but it actually, because of this slope and that and all the different blah blah blahs, it's 25 or 30,000, right? It's just, and the homeowner's fine with it. But if somebody comes in and says, oh, well, there's really no guarantee. There's guarantees on the tiles, but we'll do it for 5, 6,000. You think that homeowner is going to be like, no, I'll just pay 18,000 more? That's the other thing to bring up about like the AI and whatever, is like you're not getting back to them. You're there when they call. You are handling the lead now. And every roofer who's been in business for more than 7 or 8 minutes knows that that's where they really screw up. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know how you want to pitch it, but like, you miss that call, they're gone.
Right.
Even if it was a referral from their cousin Poofy, whoever.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going off my own experience, and it doesn't necessarily have to be roofers. It could be deck replacement. It could be, garage door repair, well, replacement, installations. I mean, just my own experience calling these contractors, I'm shocked at how many don't have either an answering service or some way to get back to the customers. I'll
Right.
call,
But
I'll wait.
but I don't want to interrupt you, but to them, that's not a problem. To them, the
Yeah.
problem is the leads suck. People are cheap. They don't understand that's the problem. So when you talk to one and he says, yes, that is the problem,
Yeah,
that's the guy you go to.
right.
If they're saying that's not a problem, like unless you want to be a roofing CRM, and that's another thing. There's a lot of people on the high level platform that are strictly roofing CRMs, and they do this like long nurture, like years worth of,
It's long.
yeah, they have like a YouTube content, they have conferences. So like nail down that problem. And if it's you need a cheap way to answer phone calls. I'll tell you another thing too. Like California, the minimum wage is what, like 17 bucks an hour?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Okay, so go pitch voice AI as a backup to instead of voicemail all day long. Because the chuck in the truck and the guy who's like almost not chucking a truck can't afford a receptionist. There's just no way.
Yeah, interesting.
40 hours a week at $20 an hour.
Yeah,
And then you figure out all the other stuff that comes with employment tax. It's a $4,000 a month employee minimum.
yeah, good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, in
interesting.
California, it's 6,000. Because y'all
Yeah,
have state taxes and this tax and a tax
Well,
on,
okay, so six, yeah, yeah, like that's
right? Yeah.
yeah. So like, but if you're like, hey, Mr. Roofer, like this is your pain point, they're gonna be like, how many leads are you gonna get me? And you're like, you never mentioned leads, and they're gonna ask you that. You're like, did you hear anything I said? And they're like, yeah, how many leads are you gonna get me? It's just like that's who a lot of them are. It's a tough
yeah,
industry.
yeah. I guess it's really trying to identify or uh, narrow them down to the people that are problem aware, and the problem being that they're missing deals, they're missing business by, either not answering the phone or having an answering service that, answers it in the wrong way, isn't able to book calls for them. I mean,
Yeah, they don't care about that. Don't even listen. So go get into like maybe some LinkedIn groups, but definitely some Facebook groups that are all about roofers, or I don't know if you said kitchen remodel, whatever it is you're thinking about going. Like, get in there, because you have a business, and your business could be a roofing business. I mean, you could put a roof on. I mean, probably not well, 3 shingles and you're done, but get in there and see what people are talking about. Like that's what I did with landscaping. And that's when I realized I absolutely do not want to do this niche and I won't do it. No, the answer is no. But after being in there, I could really see where their mindset is because that's kind of what you're talking about. And imagine you're trying to, I don't know, cold call, cold DM, whatever you're doing, and filter down for someone who realizes they have a problem,
Right. Yeah.
right?
The
Yeah.
So,
other
like,
way you could look at it is focus on one problem. And if you want it to be voice AI, that's what I'm doing right now. Okay. And don't niche down. Just make your niche or your specificity voice AI have the same thing. Hey, this is going to replace your voicemail. This will answer the phone on the weekend. The lead's going to come right to your phone when you're done with a nice little summary, blah, blah, blah. And just that's what you sell. That's instead of niching down, like get product specific and
Right.
make it fit everybody and go to everybody in your town. You can go to the insurance agents, you can go to the lawyers, you can go to anybody that doesn't have staff to answer the phone. And in California, because of labor and cost, that's a lot of people.
Yeah. Interesting.
but
Yeah, I did
also get
something and I
into
told these
some,
guys before voice AI really got out, I spent a couple nights calling businesses between 9 and 10 o'clock at night just to see how many had an answering service and how many went to voicemail. And it was like 75%, 80% went to voicemail. I was like, okay, this is
okay, I'm going to
voicemail
get
replacement.
ready to completely blow your mind. That is true even for the HVAC AC. My AC is out emergency.
Mhm.
That is true
Yep.
right now because it just happened to me Saturday night. And now I have part of my ceiling like caved in. But basically, I called so many places and filled out their little form. And a lot of them were using Podium. So Podium has done a really good job of selling stuff, but their users don't know how to use it.
So did you while you were looking for somebody, are you going to be calling all those guys back?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to call them back because they're losers,
Well,
but I
no,
am
but
going
I
to
mean, I would,
call
you know
the
what I would do? What I
I'm
would
going
do,
to
Anna,
call the
You get
owner back
one
and
shot
say,
with
I
Anna,
would,
one, and
I
if you
would
don't,
call
you're
them.
out.
yeah,
I
yeah.
would call those guys. I'd call those guys back once you got somebody
No,
fixed it in
no,
place and go, you know what? I called you
Hey,
and I had to go
asshole. I
with
didn't
Bob
buy
down the
your
street.
HVAC because I bought the other
Yeah,
guys.
I bought the other guys, but here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to make it so that next time somebody calls you, you don't lose the damn job. Because
It
I
well,
might
just
take her
spent
six
this
months
much
to
with, yeah.
cool off before she forgives them back.
oh, I don't forgive him at all. Okay, but
Anna never forgets.
that's right. I never forget. I do forgive immediately, but this is the thing.
Oh, you do not.
Yes, I do. I'm calling them back, but once I figure out who the owner is, because I'm going to be like, I need to talk to Chuck. Why? I need to talk to Chuck. And they're going to be like, okay. And they'll put me right through. And I'll say, I called you on Saturday, the 30th. No, it wasn't the 30th, whatever, 25th, 26th, 25th at 11:08. And do you know what? Your little Podium system getting it back to me. Your little whoever answers your forms, nobody got back to me. This happened, nobody got back to me. So how many leads are you just like you don't even have a clue of how much stuff you're murdering. I wanted someone here right now and you completely lost me.
Yep.
So is that happening every single day, every single
All the
weekend?
time. Yeah.
So that means that you're basically losing somewhere between, I don't know, $30 to $100,000 a month, right? I mean, if we do the math,
Hmm.
and then maybe go into it then. But what I think is talking to someone who's like the receptionist or whatever, it's just not going to work. Because actually, what did happen was I got the owner to come out of the company that I actually bought all this junk from 3.5 years ago. And it was because no one else did. And so I texted him and I texted the system and, it was probably like 5 or 7 text, emails, and phone calls. And then I just said, okay, I'm calling 1 hour, whatever you know what I mean? Like you go on and it's like Google guaranteed and they'll be to you in 1 hour. I said, I'm calling them now. All of a sudden, he called me back. So he had gotten that stuff But then he expected his employee, this is to Dan's point, who works there on the weekend to actually get off their ass and do something. Guess what? They didn't. And what I mean is they were supposed to be working then. And even if they had, I don't know, taken like a sleep break, then they're supposed to be working at least at 8 a.m. Right. So he said that whatever her name was, Liz, called me at like 11 something in the morning on that Sunday. Right. So that's the other thing. The owner doesn't know because he was just lied to by that weekend employee. And that weekend employee costs how much money? And I'm sorry, but she's doing a crap job. Or their system is crap, and so she just didn't, right? But the stuff went to the owner. And see, I think this is why proving that there's a problem can be very difficult.
Yeah, I think they need to already know they have a problem. They need to be problem aware,
And
and
the
they have to
guy
want to
came
grow.
out, right? The guy, well, I don't know about that, but the guy came, they have to want to not lose money. The guy that came out, the owner, James Richardson, he still did not understand that his employee basically completely fumbled multiple times. And I said, well, the lady who installed all this stuff, her name was Tiffany, and I texted her several times, but I know she like goes away on the weekends and whatever. So, like it's not her job. But the fact is their company, everything fell through the floor. And so thank God he came over and he made it right. Put some sulfuric acid in there and everything worked. But, it's just like if they hadn't fumbled, the owner wouldn't have had to come fix it. Which I never said anything. I just said, okay, in a voicemail, I just said I'm calling Richard's 1 hour AC repair because I don't even know if y'all are in business anymore. You know? So I
Ouch.
don't know if that might be a technique, but maybe something a little bit nicer, but like calling at 9 or 10 and then leaving a voicemail and saying blah blah blah. I don't even know if y'all are in business anymore. It's something that I might want to do because they're going to remember that when I call back or I DM them, or you know what I'm saying, right? Like when I follow up, it's going to be like, why was no one answering the phone?
Yeah, that's
Do
strong.
you do this with all customers? Do you literally like, oh, gee, they've got a call between, you know, 3 p.m. and 4 p.m.?
How are you going to
Yeah, that
reach out to the roofers, Gary?
call, I'm just going to cold call.
How many
I'm
times?
getting my, I'm going to get my list together, and if I can set up Go High Level to make outbound calls for me
We
using
have
the
we have a cold call snapshot, Gary.
Yeah, you want to
awesome.
do that.
And
Yeah.
you can use the manual call action in
Yep.
HighLevel. But what I'm asking you is how many times you're going to call them?
Well, I'm going to try and make as many dials a day as I
How
can.
many times you're going to call each company?
I haven't decided yet. I think
Get
I'll
that
learn that
number in your
as I
head.
go.
Get that number in your head because if the guys are cell phones, right?
Yeah.
And they see like the same missed call like 3, 4, 5 times over the course
Yeah.
of like 6, 7 days, you're way more likely to get a call back. A lot of people, and you don't have to do it this way, but like let's say you put a cold call list together, people you're going to dial. Figure out how many dials you can make a day. Okay. And be fair with that number,
Yeah.
like start at like 40 or 50 because
Yeah.
you're gonna have to experiment and like make sure the software is working. How many can you physically do? Like, do you get pissed off? Do you get, like deflated if nobody answers the phone or people tell you to go to hell? But like, or maybe you can make 150 a day, whatever the number is.
Yeah.
Make the list that size. Don't put like 10,000 people in there because the way the software works, once they move to the next thing, you got to go through all 10,000 before they get a second dial.
I see.
So if you're keeping your list tight and you're working like 50, 60, 70 numbers a week, or you work that list until it's exhausted and people tell you, like, go to hell. Like I dial 5 or 6 times. After 5 or 6 times, if nobody answers, and then I make it mark it as a bad number.
Yeah.
If they're out of business, I have a call disposition, mark it as a bad number. They get moved from the list. But I find that after people see like 3 missed calls after a few days, they're like, all right, this dude's going to keep calling me. Who is this?
Yeah, that's great advice.
And you'll find
Also
out too,
about
after you do like
keeping your list tight.
150, you do like 150, 200 dials, 300 companies or whatever, you'll find out if like, what you're saying or what you're pitching is worth their time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just keep in
I'm sure.
mind, like, if you get 10 to say yes, that's pretty good.
And do
Right.
you have a script?
I don't, but I will. When I start dialing, I'll have a script.
Okay. Well, Dan has a script, right?
Tell them exactly what you're doing. Go, yo. If he says,
I'm
hey,
cold calling
this is
you.
Gary's roofing, be like, hey, Gary, my name's Dan. This is a cold call. Do you want to hang up or you got 30 seconds? If they say hang up, move on.
I mean,
Yeah.
that works in Philly. I mean, normally it's an F you click. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, they don't even say F you. They go, no, this is a cold call. Who you
you're a
called?
cold call.
I called you.
Why are you calling me? I called you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Jerky Boys tapes.
That's
Oh
good.
God.
All
Yes.
right, let's see if anyone else has a question.
Yeah. But on that quick, Gary, we do have a cold call snapshot. I did some updates on it the other day, walking somebody through it. So I will update the snapshot and drop the new link in there. But it does basically like I compared mine to like what Dan and I were chatting and like compared what I had to what Dan has built, and they're very similar. And like we even got it so it keeps track of how many times you've called somebody. So if they go through and it's like the fifth time that you've called and the call disposition is like can't reach them or whatever, it just drops them out of the list. So
Right.
Yeah,
That's
the other thing
perfect.
you can do too, just like I know Alec wants to move on, but like depending on the quality of your list, and Pat, you and I need to follow up on this, but like, let's say you get a good quality list that has emails, right?
Yep.
After the fourth or fifth call, you can program in your workflow to drop an email and be like, yo, I called you like 5 times. Nobody ever answered. I can fix these missed calls for you.
Oh,
That's
that is
why
a
I'm
yeah.
calling. That's just one other like element you could add to it. But if you're just scraping Google, you're not going to have emails.
Well, outscraper can do the enrichment. It just costs more.
Yeah, that's what I have. I have
Yeah.
Outscraper.
Yeah. So
Even
outscraper
when you
gives you
say
some
it
pretty
costs
good
more,
data, but
it's still decent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like $8 versus $5.
yeah. I would and then when you get that data, run the emails through something like bulk email checker
Yeah.
and validate, and then that way you're not going to be destroying your sending domain. But and then what I've seen with like the cold emails and like even the people like the official Clay account on YouTube they were going through like all the things we've learned about cold email after sending like 10 million emails or something. Basically, he said like the first email is the most important. The rest of them don't mean jack squat.
You don't need
Yeah.
follow-ups.
You'll literally like send one. If they don't answer, move on. But
So
the
this
first
is
the
what
first
I
one's got to be a good content email. But that one,
Yeah.
like I called you 5 times, that would be a good subject line right there.
It is. It is a good subject line.
I
Be like,
called you
yo, dude,
five
I called you
times.
5 times over the last 2 weeks. If you see this number on your caller ID, here's my number. Here's why I'm calling. Now, again, they might look at it and be like, okay, you're just trying to sell me some shit. But other people might be like, you know what? I did miss this call 5 times, and it would be cool if I had a system you could even put in the email. Like my system can cut through people like me that are cold calling, can cut through the Google spam calls, the whole thing.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
if you're leading with voice AI.
yeah.
Yeah.
And on that, like so with the networking, like what's been good is like with my business networking stuff, I have been setting these businesses up with the review cards, and then I talked to 2 people at the meeting today. One guy he's like he rents those moving pods, and they're called units, and so pods is like his nemesis, and he hates them, like just burning hatred for pods. And they're the same thing, but he's like, don't call them pods or units. So But he's like, he came up to me today. He's like, dude, I have got 301 reviews now. And I said, man, that's fantastic. I said, you want to get some more? And he goes, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm starting this service, this call service that will do voicemail 2.0. So you don't have to get calls. Like when somebody's searching for, it's they figure out they got to move, they're getting a job, they got laid off, whatever, they got to move, and they start looking for storage. They're looking, at night and all that stuff. You miss calls, right? It's like, yeah. It's like, you take calls on the weekend. It's like, yeah. And I said, well, you want to stop doing that and still get the leads? Like, yeah. I said, because I was like, man, if you miss those calls, guess who they're going to call? They're going to call the pods people. He's like, set me up. So like that, the reviews was the segue into that. Like he's got himself reviews, and then the same was like the flooring guy today. He came in. It's like now he's actually started using his phone number. I've been tweaking my call service thing, and he's starting to get calls coming through. But he finally decided like I need to actually get this going because I'm missing calls. So it works, but everybody I led with was with I led with reviews on there. So.
I'll give you a
That's
good one. I had a guy call me today, and he's been a customer of mine for a long, 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 long time. Just basically reviews and like a phone number and like missed call text back. And we were playing around with an AI receptionist early when HighLevel launched it, so December. But that's a super slow time for him. He does paintless dent removal. Called me today, goes, yo, we need to turn on that AI receptionist right away. I just lost so and so, quit. And he goes, I don't want to hire somebody new. I said, okay, I'll buy. And he's local to me, so I'm going to go see him Thursday, and that's what's going to answer his phone now.
Think of a cheesesteak. It'll close the deal.
Oh, it's closed.
It's
Yeah.
all Philly. It's all the Philly stuff.
Yeah,
This is
no,
actually
he,
New Jersey, but like on the street, like you have to cross like two lanes of kind of fast traffic. You just jog, and the cheesesteak place is across the street.
Yeah, there you go.
you should meet him there and tell him, okay, you owe me a cheesesteak. All right, so
All
I
right,
have
Anna, you have your
questions.
hand raised. Let's go.
Yes, I
What have
know.
you got?
So I have some questions. Number one, what's up with the AI stuff? I thought y'all were going to release some things. Also, I remember there was going to be this newsletter thing. Is that kind of back
So
burner, no
so
burner?
the AI stuff that we're releasing, we've got some projects that we've been working on. Like I know I got some projects. Mike's had a couple of projects. Alok's had some projects. So we're kind of coming out of that, and we're still working on the AI stuff. We're going to be releasing the bundle of AI stuff. The newsletter is probably going to be pulled for a little while because I kind of co-developed it with Steve, and Steve is wanting to kind of hang on to it a little bit for like to get his client base first. He must test it out, run it through its paces and that sort of thing before we just dump it to the world. So, plus, if we did, we would probably make that paid because it is one wicked
It will be
snapshot.
paid.
So it's one hell of a snapshot.
Okay,
It will be
so how
paid.
much is it going to cost?
Less
We
than
don't know yet.
$10,000.
Okay, so $5.72. Cool. Sign me up. Um, I just gave you a price since you gave me like ridiculous. But
It's not
anyway,
ridiculous.
there's
Well,
a
it's
customer that I want for it, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give them a fake newsletter because the other customer, who is a big customer, I there's no way to give them an example newsletter that then they don't know who the customer is. You know what I mean? Like when it's a very big company, people
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to use your program to kind of massage my stuff from another customer and give it to them. But I'll just do it manually and hopefully get them signed up. And then when your
Yeah.
stuff comes out, then I can sign up for that, right? I wanted to know like, is this next week? Because if it is,
No,
I
it's not. It's
am
not.
waiting.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit before because Steve's deploying it and testing it and that sort of stuff. We're massaging a little bit, but it'll probably be something where we either have like a one-time snapshot or we find somebody to do the licensing on it and have it be a monthly thing. But it's going to be, it's going to be a bit
Whatever.
before
Yeah.
we drop that. Yeah.
So on the AI front, whether it's AI, whatever, did you see the new stuff like Bent of Extendly is doing? And HighLevel's doing a bunch of, AI stuff.
Like what?
Well,
What are
like
you
you
talking
get
about, Emma?
free 30 days.
Oh yeah, the summer of AI and everything. Yeah,
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah, they're pimping it hard.
they are.
Yes.
They are. So what I'm wondering is the stuff that I already got from going to that thing
Hmm.
from you, is that really all I need to do to start implementing this with some clients?
Yeah.
yes,
And
yes.
here's the thing, they keep, so we're like Mike and Alok and I think Dan and a couple other people are on kind of the short list for the beta stuff for the things that they're starting to push out. So we're testing, so High Level is moving, they're currently moving from SynthFlow as the AI voice provider over to Retail. And so we're testing Retail right now and giving them feedback and trying to break it, stuff like that. But they keep releasing like little features and updates and things like that. So it's like as soon as we get some training done, like tomorrow there's going to be something added on to the whole thing. So it's just literally got to like refresh at least once a week just to see what new stuff or what's been moved around or how the interface has changed and things like that. And now with the conversation AI, they're actually going to make that a lot more. They're going to be working on the interface to make it more like CloseBot, where it has objectives and things like that to do. So you're not going to be doing like a standard type of a prompt, but we're doing some testing on some of that stuff too. They got like a super quick bot, which is we're testing it, and so far I don't like it because it makes like it's a super like, if you don't know anything about chatbots, this is
And
how you deploy it kind of a thing. Like it's a chatbot for toddlers, and I don't like it at all because I like, they've reduced the ability to really do a lot of prompting and stuff. And that's kind of like you're gonna have a mode where you can be like super simple safe mode up to like I want to prompt everything kind of a mode. So we're testing all of that stuff. So but right now their Retail seems to be doing fairly well. We still got some feedback, on it, and I don't know how much Dan's tested it. I've tested it some, but I mean, there's some things that that needs fixing, but it's so far it's better than SynthFlow. So
I'll tell you, so
okay,
far in my testing, I think it's leaps and bounds better.
oh,
I
good.
haven't had any issues with prompting or having it do what I wanted to do when. Um, and just on an aside, if anybody hasn't gone to Retail's website, I think it's retailai.io, and you're on their website, you can listen to demos of their voice AI bots. They have like a dentist, they have like a whatever. Just call, like put your number in there and have it call you and listen to the call quality because you can eventually, I think, dial in like certain parts of the actual character, like make them more stable, make them less emotional, and it's unbelievable how much better it sounds.
So is it retail like ELL or
Yeah,
like, okay,
yeah, like
so
retelling the story.
yeah.
so retail AI.io.
Dan,
Yeah.
have you been able to get it to collect information before it books?
Yeah.
How? I haven't tested, like I haven't done a lot to test it yet, but
I just look at the prompt that I
at
sent you
that
last
prompt. So
week.
you updated it, you got it in. Okay.
It's in there,
But
but
is that just for your demo or is it for like an actual production, like live bot?
well, I don't have any live bots doing appointment booking like that. So,
Okay. All
but
right.
that's for my demo. But
Okay.
I've experimented on my demo accounts with like fake barbershops, tied
Yeah.
it into a calendar, like in my account, and it
Yeah.
works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so is that like but see my issue is like let's say for like the car detailers or like your auto glass guys. Like before we book, what's the year, make, and model of your car? If I say I want to book an appointment, it verifies the phone, verifies my name, verifies the email, and it goes right to booking and bypasses all the instructions for get the make, model, and year. And then I have to like, so did you forget to collect any information? And it goes, oh yeah, I need to make, your make and model of your car, or something like
I
that.
mean, if you want, tell me what questions you have, and I'll throw it in my like fake barbershop
I mean,
demo.
really, just like
Uh,
have it verify, like collect
something outside
collect like
of contact
street
info.
address,
Yeah,
street
like
address and
the
city or
make
something,
and model of your haircut, the year,
yeah. I mean,
the
it's literally
style.
any kind of information beyond name, email, and phone. It if you try to force it to collect it before it books, it will absolutely not do it. But the thing is like you could maybe have it do it afterwards, if and that might be the only workaround we have. But then once I'm booked an appointment, I don't care. I'm going to hang up, so I may not be able to get that information.
So this is how I would do it if that's the issue you're facing, and this is kind of how I do it with all my stuff. Hey, I need my windshield replaced. Okay, what's your name? What's the make and model? And
Mhm.
it's updating all the fields as we go.
Yeah.
Do you know your VIN number? Yeah, okay. If not, I need you to text it to me after, blah blah. What's the address? And then offer the appointment date and time. When it
Yeah.
offers the appointment date and time, okay, I just need to verify your last
Well,
name, your phone number, and it's all in there.
the only problem with that though is that if I call in and it goes, and it says, "How can I help you?" and I go, I need to get an appointment to get my windshield replaced. As soon as you say I need to book or get an appointment or schedule, it goes right for the throat. It will
Yeah,
absolutely forget. It will
I'll like
forget
I said,
everything else it's supposed to do and book that damn appointment.
I'll put it in
Yeah.
and I'll just throw in like some random stuff like addresses, make and model of
Yeah.
the car,
Just have it
and
collect
see what it does.
information, whatever custom fields you got. Just have it collect something and confirm it. It will absolutely not do it.
So anything outside of contact info.
Anything outside contact info. Now you can remind it and go, don't you need to collect some other info? And it will go, oh yeah, I need to collect this. But you
But
have to
it's already
remind it.
jumped your process, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all covered that. So
Yep.
these were my other questions. D7. Do you feel that D7 is better or worse than Outscraper?
I like Outscraper because you can select multiple categories and multiple locations all at once. So you can do any combination of that, and you can narrow it down to like zip codes or specific cities or anything like that. So D7, I have to give it like a niche and a location.
Right.
And so if you wanted to scrape the entire state, like it can get that information, but you're not going to get as good a results as with Outscraper. Like for Kansas, it'd be like dentist and 66062, dentist and 66204, dentist and 66536, and it would do like by zip code, and it can basically go do all of those searches instead of just like dentist Kansas, which is going to get you fewer results.
Hey, anybody want a good zip code cheat?
Yeah.
Sure.
Zillow. When you go to Zillow, and I'll drop the link, there's a page where you can just copy all the zip codes per county, plop them into
Oh,
Outscraper. It
no.
makes life so much easier.
Outscraper will do it automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but if you want to search by zip code,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
yeah, you can.
Nice.
So,
There's a better tool. I'll find it's called like the 5 minute finder or something. But my next question was webinars. Um, has anybody done anything where you do whatever, DMing, cold email, whatever, to invite people to webinars? Has anybody found that to be effective?
I have not run any webinars myself.
I know
Except for
someone who's
this
done
weekly.
webinars. I know someone who's done webinars. Not with cold emails, but yeah, they've run ads and gets good turnaround on webinars, and yeah, he's done regular webinars for a while. So I'm not sure if you want to do ads, but yeah, ads are working for webinars.
Okay.
Cold emails, I'm not sure if anyone's done cold emails for webinars.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, but ads are crushing it for webinars, and that's a very good like if you're thinking of doing the what's this called, webinar model, I think it's worth it. Just putting $100, $200, have 10 people show up, you're gonna bring them back. So
Gotcha. Oh, I found the tool.
What's that?
Dan, have you ever used this tool or anybody? I've been using this tool for years. This is like one of the best tools there ever was. Sorry, not in the UK, in the US.
For just keywords?
No, so like you put in your zip code, right? Or you put a radius of a certain city. Well, you
Mhm.
see all those little check boxes include cities and results, city, state abbreviation, da da da.
Yeah.
So you can also do location keyword and keyword location in the results. You can do all the US and abbreviations and everything. And what it'll do is it'll churn out. You can also prepend it and append it, and it will churn out like, let's say you have 10 keywords. You know, people say, oh, I only have 10 keywords in my campaign. And I'm like, yeah, you're an idiot, you know? So you can go through and get all this stuff parsed out to where, you know, 10 keywords really turns into about 1,800 of exactly what you want and your zip code and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also, this is a great tool for, you know, doing that.
Interesting.
Like when you just want to know, and I mean, can look at the design of this thing. This thing is just as old as dirt, and it works great. It's always worked.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Dig it.
But no matter what, at least you figure out what cities are in a zip code, what, you know, all the
Mhm.
little nuances of things. You can easily figure that out. And it's, I mean, I've been using it forever for Google Ads and SEO because obviously I'll SEO, you know, one page 50 times and also put data in the schema.
Mhm.
And it's just massive for people who don't know how to do real SEO. And
You put
also
all wait, do you put all those keywords in your schema?
some, depending
Oh,
on
okay.
where.
I was gonna say like that's a lot of schema.
Oh no, yeah, no, I have a lot of schema. Oh yeah.
Well,
That's
yeah,
how you win.
schema is important. I was just like that's just a lot of stuff to put into the schema.
Well, so what you'd want to do, right, is per zip code,
Mhm.
depending on, so say you have whatever, dentist, roofer, whatever, and they really focus on like a 3 or 5 mile radius. You'll do radius and you'll put in your zip code and then you'll put in whatever keywords, and then boom, you have a list of probably, I don't know, 100, 200, 300, and that really should go in your schema.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Or if you're parsing it out per zip code and you have this page that's like roofer 77021, roofer 77024, then for each of those you parse it out, but you still have quite a bit. And of course, you know what you're doing, you'll get found
Oh
because
yeah.
you're going to have that data in there, you know? But it
Yep.
parses it out for you, and it's very difficult to do that otherwise. Like I've never found another program that actually does this, what this thing does as well.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice if there was something.
Yeah.
But this will help. It shortens everything. It's like boop, done.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah. Dig it. It's a nice resource. All right. What else we got? Anybody else got more information? Georgia, Alfonso, you guys haven't said a whole lot.
I yeah, last week was busy. I got like 25 cars activated.
Nice.
Wow.
So yeah, I went in to 2 events, about 15 to 10. Boom. Hey, check this out. I do my usual blah blah blah. Oh my god. Let's try it out. You want? Let's go. 1 minute activation. And I tell them directly, hey, first card is free, okay? If you want more cards, come back to me. Like in a fun way. They're like, oh, ha ha ha, LOL. Activate the card, give it to them. They're so happy. Like, oh, thank you, appreciate it. Boom. This time I didn't make them pay for it. Last time I had gone, I charged them $10 each. I felt there was a bit of a resistance. Oh, for $10 they were still, I like, you
So
know what, just
what do you think? What do you think the difference between the two? You think that the free is better?
so I'm still. It's just the presentation. Like, if you tell them,
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, this is the plan. Hey, I'm going to give you this one card. Try it out, and more cards obviously come to me.
And you made everyone activate it with you, right?
Correct, right there. Otherwise, I'm not. Yeah,
I would kill him if he doesn't do that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
now, yeah, Alok has been pushing me. So I activated right there on the spot. No one gets a free card. No giving cards. Activate or don't
I
get the card.
wouldn't worry. Alok looks like he's gonna fall asleep for a week and then he'll kill you. He killed you today.
So
Nah,
So
I just need 2 more hours. That's it, and I'll be fine.
I started doing a follow-up calls now. I saw my list the other day over the weekend. I have 250 people, 250 cards activated, and I'm not followed up with them.
Wow.
So I need to just start calling. So today I started calling 3 people, 4 people I called. They're like, oh, okay, oh, cool, okay. I'm going to go down the list.
Did you
Just
use the cold call
no,
activator thingy?
nothing. I just called from my phone. Like, hey, dude, hey, remember me? Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Alfonso, I've got my brand going on. Alfonso, review guy. Google reviews, star, 5 stars, 5 stars. Oh, I remember you. Yeah. And one guy, I think I've almost upsold him. Sent him the invoice. He was ready. $2,000 for 6 months for Page. So let's see if that I'll find out in a
Not
couple of
bad.
days. Yeah.
Nice.
Why did you send him an invoice? Why you did not get the payment right away?
You can see Alok is not a happy camper when he hasn't had his sleep. Yeah, I do wonder
I'm
that.
fired up. I'm
why are
fired up
you
after. So okay.
Why are you sending
So
an invoice anyway?
and I don't know if you know, but I for last 3 days I was in Sarsaparilla Sydney event. So I'm still in that Sarsaparilla high right
Oh,
now. So I'm like, let's go. Why did you not collect the payment? And I know Alfonso really well, so that's why I'm literally. I would ask him this question on one-on-ones, but I wanted to ask him on this call so that it puts more pressure to him, so that he takes that action. He knows that I'm going to ask that question.
but no, seriously, tell us why. Did the customer say, "Hey, just send me the invoice. I'm going to pay right now"?
No, he said I'm going to. So we had a chat about 2 months ago about this, and now he's suddenly more interested. So I reached out to him. He's like, "Oh, you're right, man. I should have done this before." And then so he said, "Send me the details. I'm going to jump on this ASAP." So I sent him the details, and he said, "Call me also. If I don't pay the invoice, call me." So there's a back and forth going. I'm calling him, sending him text messages. Let me see how it works out right now. So
Okay,
So here's what happens. Here's
when
what
did you
happens when
send the invoice? When did you send it?
literally Thursday.
No. Never. You can never let that ever happen again. Put this in your mind.
Okay.
On Thursday, like 30 minutes after, an hour after, you need to call him. If he doesn't answer, then you call him again. And then if he doesn't answer, then you call him again. And then if he doesn't answer, you call him again. And then you say, well, I don't know if you're in the hospital, but I mean, if you are, I'll come bring you flowers, or like, they don't have any good food in the hospital, so I'll bring you some good food. Right? Like, there is no excuse for you to let them off the hook. You know who you're letting off the hook? You're letting you off the hook because you should have done it. Now, maybe you're not going to do it the way I'm going to do it, but like, an emergency is an emergency is an emergency. If it's not an
So
emergency to you, it's never an emergency to them, right?
I'll
So
use
just
his words. So
that
Alfonso
technique works.
just said, you just said like he got back to me and he said, "Oh yeah, I should have done it before." Right? If he said that, he's like, "Yeah, I agree." And that's why I want you to get started today. Now, let's get this going. How long do you want to wait? You send an invoice like Thursday or something. Which Thursday? Last week?
This was a Memorial Day weekend. That was the excuse. Everybody's excuse. Oh,
That's bullshit excuse. If their tire bursts, are they gonna wait for Memorial Weekend? No, they're gonna go and fix that shit. So that's an excuse. We all need to fix this shit. Money, collect that payment. They are ready to pay you, take it.
Yeah, so let me add to that in between that, I would have also sent the little payment link through HighLevel that texts them the payment link as well. And then I would have sent an email, probably on like the third call, to give them a couple of minutes. But somebody taught me that it's a very good technique where you call them like 3 times in a row. So like what Dan was talking about before was excellent, but that's like cold calling. This is somebody who is like, should be a deal, right? So you don't wait on a deal, because either you are sold on their bullshit, which is what happened, or they are sold on yours. There's no two ways about it.
Got it. Now I have to implement it. Change my mindset and
So
implement.
now you have to make it an emergency for them again. Because like it went cold, right? Like they had hot hamburgers and hot dogs during Memorial Day, but now everything with taking action is cold. Right? But it's almost about to be June, so you need this going by June 1st. So he needs to do it now. Or if he's in the hospital, that's cool. That's a valid excuse. Have a heart attack, heal. Let's get started then. But that is the only excuse: death or dismemberment.
Yeah. So in my mind, like if you ask too much, that's my mindset. Like, oh, he'll be like put off. If you keep calling, like when you ask for reviews, you can ask for reviews only so many times.
Right, you go to a doctor, you're like, doctor, I'm afraid I'm gonna die. What's going on with me? He's like, well, I didn't really want to tell you that, you have these terrible diseases because I didn't want you to feel bad about it, but you're pretty much stage 9 about to die. But just don't feel bad about that. Right? I mean, you have to think about this in perspective. You are hurting their business by not getting them to go ahead. Once they know, when they don't know, that's different because there is some understanding, learning back and forth. But once they know, it might even take you a month if you're not really proactive to get the fire under his seat again. Right? Because you let it go cold, and now it's how many days later? It's almost a week. Because you're not going to call him tonight, right?
Oh, tomorrow.
Huh?
I'll be calling tomorrow. That was the plan.
Okay, so why can't you text him the payment link and the email now?
Do it.
You
On
see,
the call now.
the excuses are in your brain. The excuses
It's
are
8
not.
o'clock. It's 8 o'clock.
Hey,
Central
Okay,
Time.
let me
Uh-oh.
hold on. So
Hold
let
on
me
right
What is
now.
let
it,
me
turn
tell you
into a
this.
pumpkin?
No, so Anna, let me just help him out. So you know Kevin Patrick really well. Okay? You know what time he closes? 11:45 on a chat. He's literally on the phone, that person right now at 8 o'clock. He's gonna see that message. Send it. You want money? Send it.
Okay.
All I'm
It's at
saying
Do it
is
that
right
level
now.
now.
Do it right now.
the shortest thing is the action you want them to take. That's what you need to put in front of them. Like, here's a mouse. You put cheese in front of them, right? You don't put a cow. Yeah, okay, maybe the mouse knows that eventually the cow will somehow turn into cheese. But you put the payment link, right? So that they can take action. Because they can't take action other than that, besides saying, oh, yeah, I really need to do this, which means there's an objection. Otherwise, they just do it. So you send that. And then tomorrow morning, Well, what time do you get up? 6, 7, 8?
Yeah, around 8.
So first thing when you get up, you look, is it paid? Yes or no? If it's not paid, you send in the payment link in the email. I wasn't sure this got to you. I'm gonna call you in 5 minutes. Just tell them that you're gonna do it. Don't ask, oh, blah, 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 may I have your permission? No,
Okay.
I'm calling you in 5 minutes. Can you talk? If they can't, that's an assumptive clause. If they can't talk, they're gonna say, oh, I'm in court, or I'm, whatever. I'm at the hospital, right? But basically, then you call him in 5 minutes. Maybe wash your face. You have till 8:05. And you just call him. And then you put in the group, I called him at 8:05 and he told me blah, blah, blah. Like whatever excuse he gives, fine, but get an answer, yes or no.
Okay.
Right? And you can always tell him that, like, hey, it's okay if you don't want to do this. You should, you want to, blah, blah. It's totally fine. It's totally fine if you don't do it. Totally fine. Like, take that pressure off. But then, you're going to suffer from whatever. And then y'all can talk about, because I think you need to scoop out the real objection that he's having. Because the objection is not money.
Yeah, the objection is not money for sure. If he was ready to pay $2,000, it's not objection, money objection for sure.
And you know what I have found very often, the real objection, once you get behind all the fake objections, the bullshit 1, bullshit 2, bullshit 3, is that they think, okay, I'm paying all this. What am I getting? And what does it mean I'm going to have to do? What's the work I'm going to have to do now? Now that I signed up for this thing that's supposed to be so great, what am I going to have to do? Because it's been 2 months since you had a conversation, so he's not going to even remember what the hell you said and what he's going to have to do. Say, look, I want you to understand, we're going to set this up. This is going to happen in 12 hours. This is going to happen in 16 hours. This is going to happen in 2 days. And I'm only going to ask you once I get some feedback, like I need an email list from you, and I need this and I need that. And I'm going to send you an email, and it's going to have exactly what I'm going to be needing from you, when. And if you want a reason why, if you don't care why, I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to need. Maybe you can put that to your admin assistant or your cousin Vinny or whatever. You see what I mean? A lot of times they don't take action after a while because they don't even, and they can't admit it, but they don't want to think about what am I lassoing myself into? Right? Because does he
All right.
know? I'll
Hopefully
bet you
that
he
pushes you,
doesn't know.
Alfonso.
Yeah, I'm sending the
Send that
link.
invoice.
Yeah.
Are you doing it?
Yes, send that invoice.
Prove it. Hold your phone up. Prove it. It's didn't happen.
Listen, I'm doing it right now. Boom. Let's get this started. You guys are gonna kill me. All right, get me some cash, people. Okay,
You're gonna be fine.
He's just gonna pay you, man. That's all.
all right.
All right, we're gonna all bless you. He's just gonna pay. You wake up at 8, $2,000 in your account. Oh yeah, Shazam!
All right, let's do it.
Exactly.
Done. It's done. Let's see tomorrow. Boom. Let's go. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
All right, kids.
I was about to end, and Steve is in the waiting room. Let's just say hi to him, and then
No, that's all right.
No.
Listen.
Okay, cool.
Now, he just messaged me. Are you guys
All right.
having a call tonight? Like we're just finishing up.
No, so we're finishing up. Hurry up. All right. Hopefully there was something for someone there.
Yep.
We'll see you next week.
All right, everybody.
Thanks, guys.